The architectural history of Mexico City. Mexico City possesses one of the richest and most complex architectural histories in the world. Built atop the ruins of the Aztec capital Tenochtitlan, the city's architecture reflects layers of indigenous civilization, Spanish colonial rule, post-independence nation-building, and modern experimentation. More than a single architectural tradition, Mexico City represents a continuous process of transformation, where ancient foundations and contemporary forms coexist within the same urban landscape. Tenochtitlan and indigenous foundations. Before the arrival of the Spanish, the site of Mexico City was occupied by Tenochtitlan, the capital of the Aztec Empire. Founded in 1325 on an island in Lake Texcoco, Tenochtitlan was a carefully planned city with canals, causeways, temples, and marketplaces. Architecture was monumental and symbolic, constructed primarily from stone and volcanic materials. The Templo Mayor, the city's ceremonial heart, embodied Aztec cosmology through its twin temples dedicated to Huitzilopochtli and Tlaloc. Urban planning in Tenochtitlan demonstrated sophisticated engineering. Chinampas, artificial agricultural islands, aqueducts, and drainage systems supported a dense population and complex economy. Although much of this architecture was destroyed after the Spanish conquest, its spatial logic continues to influence Mexico City's layout. Spanish conquest and colonial architecture. Following the fall of Tenochtitlan in 1521, the Spanish rebuilt the city as the capital of New Spain. Indigenous temples were dismantled, and their stones were reused to construct churches, palaces, and civic buildings. The colonial city adopted a European grid plan centered on the Zócalo, which remains the political and symbolic heart of Mexico City. Colonial architecture blended European styles with local materials and craftsmanship. Early buildings followed Renaissance principles, but Baroque architecture soon became dominant. Churches and convents featured elaborate facades, dramatic ornamentation, and richly decorated interiors. The Metropolitan Cathedral, built over several centuries, exemplifies this layered colonial style, incorporating Renaissance, Baroque, and neoclassical elements. Neoclassicism and the birth of a nation. In the late 18th and early 19th centuries, neoclassicism emerged as a symbol of Enlightenment ideals and political change. As Mexico moved toward independence, architecture began to express order, rationality, and civic identity. Institutions such as the Palace of Mining showcased classical proportions and restrained decoration. After independence in 1821, Mexico City expanded beyond its colonial core. Public buildings, monuments, and avenues reflected the ambitions of a modern nation-state. European influence remained strong, but architecture increasingly sought to define a distinct Mexican identity. Porfirian era and European influence. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, under the rule of Porfirio Diaz, Mexico City underwent rapid modernization. Inspired by Paris, wide boulevards, monuments, and grand buildings transformed the urban landscape. Styles such as Beaux-Arts, Art Nouveau, and eclecticism appeared in theaters, mansions, and public institutions. The Palace of Fine Arts stands as a landmark of this era, combining Art Nouveau exteriors with Art Deco interiors. Architecture during the Porfirian period symbolized progress, cosmopolitanism, and alignment with European culture, even as social inequalities deepened. Modernism and revolutionary identity. Following the Mexican Revolution, architecture became a tool for expressing national identity and social ideals. Modernist architects embraced functionalism while incorporating Mexican materials, themes, and symbolism. Public housing, schools, and cultural institutions were designed to serve a broader population. Figures such as Luis Barragán transformed modern architecture through emotional use of color, light, and space. His work combined international modernism with deeply rooted Mexican sensibilities, emphasizing introspection and connection to landscape. Contemporary Mexico City. Today, Mexico City's architecture reflects its global status and cultural diversity. Contemporary projects coexist with colonial churches and pre-Hispanic ruins. Adaptive reuse, sustainable design, and preservation efforts shape current architectural practice, acknowledging both historical responsibility and future needs. Conclusion. The architectural history of Mexico City is a story of layering rather than replacement. From Aztec temples and colonial cathedrals to modernist masterpieces and contemporary buildings, the The city embodies centuries of cultural negotiation and reinvention. Architecture in Mexico City does not erase its past. It builds upon it, making the city one of the most historically rich and architecturally dynamic capitals in the world.